known you for a long, long time. I've always wanted to ask you this question. We kind of have similar backgrounds. I'm from New Jersey. I know you're from the Philadelphia area. You moved to Italy. I was, hanging out in Germany as a youngster. How was it growing up in Italy? Did you live on a place that was with all Americans, or were you with Italian kids?
Yeah, we because we were also young. I was 6. My sister Shay was 7. My eldest Sharia was 8. And so we were just starting elementary school, basically. And so our parents just immersed us in Italian culture. So we were just surrounded by Italian kids. We were just learning the language as they were. So for us, it was full immersion. And there were no American bases. There was nothing. It was just straight Italian.
So where did you get the killer instinct from as a basketball player? Because for me, I used to go on the Army base, and being the big kid, I used to have to play with the big guys. Mm-hmm. They used to throw me around and beat me up. Where did you get your killer instinct from?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with isolation. Growing up over there and being the only African-American kid. Not being able to speak the language, I gravitated towards the game. And in that game, you find a lot of, you find solace in the game. And then when you play with kids that might not accept you because you're an outsider, but yet when we come to play the game, that's my chance to get vengeance on them for not accepting me. And that's where it kind of started developing. And throughout the course of my life, it's always been that. It's always been the outsider and having to come in and prove, or to seek some sort of vengeance when I play.
Do you remember what you told me one day in the forum when I first met you? Mm-hmm. You said you were going to be the finish it for me.
Like the greatest player of all time?
Yes. You remember you told me that?
No, but that sounds something. No, that sounds like something that I would say.
you actually said that, and then you actually said, "I'm gonna be the Will Smith of the NBA." This was your
really?
year, and I was like, "All right, okay."
Will Smith. You said. Yeah, times have changed. Yeah, now I've always had ambition.
Another thing you told me as an 18-year-old, I'm gonna be better than Mike. So I knew it definitely drove you, and it's always gonna be those comparisons when somebody's come before you. And you do it. I don't know if you patterned the game after him or not. I don't know if you watched him in high school, but there was a lot of similarities. But I know that day you passed up Michael Jordan, I know you was probably riding in your car like.
You know what, man? I thought I would be. But, what happened is when I came in the league and I wanted to take him on, right? All I heard was, they called him Black Panther, they called him Black Jesus and all some stuff. I said, I want to see what this is about. And, but what happened is that he wound up becoming a big brother to me.
How you doing, man? I know where you're going. You gotta get up quick. If you knew where I was going, why you go for the fake? Mike, after you fake the ball, where else you gonna go? You left your feet. Yeah, but where else you gonna go? In the game, I go for you. I spun all the way around. I go for these ribs right here.
He saw something in me that reminded him a lot of himself when he was coming up. And he took me under his wing a lot and showed me a lot of things, taught me a lot of things, a lot of leadership things.
Kobe Bryant passes the great Michael Jordan and moves into third on the NBA's all-time scoring list.
So when I passed him up, I remember talking to him afterwards and saying, this is kind of, it's like he's still here. The information and the stuff that he's passed on to me, I'm breathing that spirit back into the game all over again, which is a lot of the reason why I try to do that now for the next generation, because he did that for me. Bill Russell did that for me, Jerry West, and all you guys, but Michael in particular. What most people don't know is our story goes back when I met you
in Orlando.
In Orlando.
Right.
You guys were playing the Pacers in the playoffs in '94, and I came to a game, and Penny back then was my role model, and I looked up to him quite a bit. I asked to take a picture with him. He kind of brushed me off.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I came to you, asked to take a picture, and you were like, "Yeah, come here, young fella. Yeah, where you from?"
I remember that.
And that's it's the first time I met you.
I don't know if you know this, but I was in Atlanta, still with the Orlando Magic. We get a call from Jerry West, my agent, 2 a.m. Me and Jerome, we out at the club. Jerry West says, "I got what you want." At that time, I was asked for 150. I knew I wasn't going to get 150, but Jerry got me 120. So he called me up to the room, and he put the piece of paper on the thing. And before I could sign, he stopped me. He said, "Let me tell you something. I just acquired this kid from Charlotte. You and him going to get about 3 or 4 championships." I was like, "Who are you talking about?" He said, "Kobe Bryant." I was like, "All right, cool." I wasn't worried about none of that. I was just trying to get to that 120 and trying to get to that 120. And that was the first time I I knew of your greatness. And then when you came in, you was 18, you was doing a lot. And I can remember one time in the 3-on-2 drill, you came down on Sean Rooks and you put up your team, ding, 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 ding. And Dale said, shh, Kobe, one day you're going to be a great player, but don't ever do that again.
Yeah. I had the opportunity, to play against guys like Shaq and, of course, Byron Scott, Eddie Jones, Cesar Ceballos. And it's been a great training camp so far. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it to the fullest.
One thing, what I loved about you as an 18-year-old is you wanted it. A lot of guys on our team didn't want it, but you wanted it at a 18-year-old. And that's why in the Utah game, everybody talks about those air balls. I wasn't mad at you.
For Kobe Bryant for three, another air ball. He shoots back-to-back air balls. Jazz basketball.
And that's why I was the first one to come grab you and say, hey, I know everybody's laughing and giggling now, but one day people will fear you at the end of the game. So I knew that about you as an 18-year-old. It was fun.
I remember the first practice. We had Travis Knight on the team. And, you proceeded to just annihilate this kid. And, just from everything, from talking trash to him to, he was afraid to get on the bus. And one thing that I noticed about you from the jump was that you didn't respect people that you could bully. You didn't respect them. And you test them. And you'd see what they let you get away with. And you'd see if they would fold to that. And that was the first thing I observed about you, and that competitive fire that you had. And then it all started making sense to me. That's how I see him play with that rage when it comes out. And that's how I see guys, when he plays, they back away from him because they're afraid of him. They're afraid of that confrontation, that physicality. And then I remember you taking me down to Jerry's Deli. Back in the day, we had the big flip phones, you know what I mean? I didn't have one, though. You had one. I said, man, I didn't get one of those, man. That's pretty damn cool. Man. You had the big joint and just hanging out with you, man. And you showing me the ropes from day one.
Being swept out of the playoffs in May.
96 through 99 was a frustrating point. I don't know about, maybe a little bit for you, but for me, being one of the best bigs in the league and having that title of not winning one, I think it took toll on both of us. I wanted to get it. You wanted to get it.
Well, I'm at a point in my life where individual honors don't mean much anymore. I'm just, more worried about what the team is capable of doing.
I admit I was probably crazy. Well,
we both weren't necessarily stable.
Because my thing is I didn't want to, for us and for me, I didn't want to have that title of, they ain't got one yet.
Right.
I remember one day reading in the paper, Shaq's averaging 20 or 30 and doing this, and the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, well, he didn't win none yet.
Right.
So is he great? And that just kind of,
yeah. Well, I one thing that, I understood was your necessity to have to win one. There was a lot of pressure. And I think there's a lot of frustration because you kept seeing this kid and everybody kept saying, okay, be patient with this kid, be patient with this kid. And you're saying, listen, I don't have patience. I have to win now. And this kid needs to develop now.
Remember that?
I think I can remember the first time we had our first fight, and you looked and said, okay, this is crazy.
I did say that.
Yeah, you did. You did. Anyway, we were playing a pickup game. We was doing a lockout season, Southwest College, playing a pickup game. We're on opposite teams.
Right. And
trash talking.
Yes.
And you kept saying, yeah, take that little. I'm like, I'm looking around. Oh, me.
Yes.
Right? And I said, oh, hold on. Ain't gonna be too many more of those little,
Yeah, I remember that.
And what'd you say? Well, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? And then that's, the next thing I knew, I saw a big hand coming this way. And I remember going this way. And I remember throwing some lollipop. Golden Polynese came and caught. And then they all just kind of broke us apart, broke us up. I'm looking at this and I'm saying, man, he wants this thing. It affects him, right? I mean, it consumes him. And then from that moment on, I knew we spoke the same language. It doesn't matter if we had disagreements this and the other. Our drive to win, like we have to win. There's no other option. We're going to figure this out. We're going to get this done. And we did it.
Cara pallacanestro, sono pronto a lasciarti. Ci siamo dati momenti buoni e momenti meno buoni. Ci siamo dati a vicenda tutto quello che avevamo.
Oh, good friend, why are you so shy? Didn't like you to hold back or hide from the light. Hate to turn up out of the blue, uninvited, but I couldn't stay away. I couldn't fight it. I had hoped you'd see my face and that you'd be reminded that for me it isn't over.
E sappiamo ambedue che indipendentemente da quello che farò, rimarrò per sempre quel ragazzo con le calze tirate su, con il cestino dei rifiuti nell'angolo, 5 secondi sul cronometro, la palla nelle mie mani, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.